Welcome back to The Right Gun, and for those new to my channel, please like, subscribe, and share. Help me grow this channel and the community. Well, still out at the range, been cutting a few videos today, so I figured I'd do one more. Just returned from the Sig Classic Line Armorers course. It was a 2-day course. It was held in Des Moines, Iowa. It was an excellent course. I would go, if you are a Sig fan, if you are a fan of their classic line, so their P22 pick a number series, this is what we dove into for 2 straight days. First of all, if you like to tinker with these guns, I have a broken down version. So if, you've watched any of my videos, you know I was doing a Sig 229 build. So this is it. Still continuing with it. But what to expect? So you sign up for the course. They do want you to have a Sig course, their introduction to handguns, if you will. If you're law enforcement, if you're military, if you're first responder, just call them up and say, hey, listen, because they weren't holding that course in the Des Moines area or anywhere close to where I live, so couldn't attend that. But I told them, hey, listen, retired Army, I've built my own, shot a lot of SIGs. They asked me a few questions. They're like, all right, you seem to be on the level, so here you go. You can sign up for this course. So again, if you don't meet those prerequisites, just call and ask them. Very friendly. So what do you get? You show up, you get a very, very, very nice book detailing the Sig P22, we'll just say 6, 7, 8, 9 series, including the double action kellerman and the single action only. And I'll come back to the single action in a second. So the first day, they hand out 229s, and you basically learn to break it down. You learn to break down the lower, the frame. You take apart everything. You learn the best techniques for how to put it back together. You learn how the trigger and the trigger bar, the safety disconnect, how all of the safety lever and the sear, how they all interact for the 3-point safe. You also will take apart the slide completely, and there are certain ways you have to do it without wrecking some of the internals, and you just learn what parts you need to replace if you fully break down that weapon. So again, that was the first day, 8 hours of just taking this bad boy, stripping it down, learning the whys and wherefores of how everything works in there, how everything fits in there, some of the best practices, and then you put it back together. You do it again, you put it back together. There is a pretty, all the tests are open book. There was a quiz, a terminology quiz. It wasn't the hardest thing in the world. I wouldn't say it was, college level or anything, but you definitely have to understand the terminology, and they describe, in detail what a certain thing does. So like the safety lever, they would describe the action of the safety lever and pieces it interacts with. And then so you have to say, oh, okay, it's interacting with this, therefore it's a safety lever. They do have a written test. It's about 4 pages. I think it's about 50 questions. Again, that is open book. But, some of the questions in it, some of the questions were obviously giveaways, but some of them were very tough questions. They made you think about what the interactions are with the components in the frame. So that's the written portion of the class. And so every time you, along with that, you learn the functions checks for each of the weapons, and you have to perform those. So you'll start with the weapon fully assembled. You will break it down. The instructor will watch you rebuild it, and then you will do a functions check with that weapon. So that's it. The instructor, he was awesome, very personable, very knowledgeable across multiple SIG platforms. We had a bunch of Des Moines PD in there. We had people who, through their work, needed to armor and maintain SIGs. So that was interesting to see them. My buddy and I took the course as civilians, and there were a couple of other civilians in there that didn't have any military or police or any first responder experience. Guess you could kind of call them Walter Mitty types, if you will. One guy, oh my God, the cops in there had so much fun with this guy. Every question that he had started with, well, when I went to Camp Legion out at Sig, and so that obviously became the, you know, the American Pie band camp kind of joke. But you know, nice guy, a little off, but definitely a Walter Mitty. But everything was Camp Legion, Camp Legion, Camp Legion. So you have to deal with some of that. You know, I guess since I'm retired, probably throw me into that category too, but I tried to keep my mouth shut and just learn in that class. So again, if you are a fan of the Classic Line series, they teach you in depth the breakdown, troubleshooting, maintenance. The book they give you is fantastic. You actually get to play with the 229 double action Kellerman. You learn the science behind that double action trigger. You know, I'd never seen one, but you know, we got to tear it down. I will say that if you have a double action Kellerman and you take apart the safety lever and the trigger housing group, including the sear, that is a whole level of attention to detail with how those things have to go back together, and it is far more difficult than your regular 226, 229 series. So we'll leave it at that. I did do a short video on that, and I'll do another short video on the extractor mechanism for the double action Kellerman, because it is a little bit different. Some of the cons, it was a tad bit expensive. I'm not going to tell you what I paid for it. Definitely had to save up my allowance for that, but 2 days. So, you know, go look online. It'll give you the cost. You know, you determine if it's worth it for you. At the end of it, you do get a certificate that says you are qualified to work on Sig Classic Line pistols. I like armoring, so I want to get the certifications for that. That's why I did it. Another con, other than the price, is we didn't really spend any time with the single action only series of pistols. So that was a little bit of a disappointment there. Sig does offer multiple classes, so they have a one-day P320 class, they have a 365 class, they have an M400 class. Not sure if I'm going to take any of those. I just really like the Sig Classic Line, so for myself, to better my understanding of that platform, that's why I wanted to take it and again parlay that into maybe a side hustle or something. So drop the comments below. Would I recommend it? If you like tinkering with guns, if you like taking them apart and rebuilding, absolutely. The troubleshooting knowledge that you gain from just the knowledge of the instructors taking it apart and rebuilding, really second to none. I thought Sig offered a very good class, you know, and the again, the written tests, these things were no joke. You know, the written tests and the matching, you know, they weren't the hardest thing I've ever done. But you know, you had to use the manual, you had to look, and you had to understand what each of those components did and kind of the second and third order effects of why they're in the gun and what they interact with. Hope you like this video. Please like, subscribe, and share. Help me grow this channel and the community. Thanks for watching.